Hey, welcome back to Just My Two Cents. And I have a new development. Something came across my desk today, and I just want to go ahead and just talk about it real quick because, quite honestly, it's just really disturbing at this point. As you all know, I did a video called Pastor or Pimp, and it was about Justin Jackson from the Jacksons of Atlanta. And it talked about how Justin Jackson was once a pastor, and then as Justin and Mahogany began to post content online, the content started to get more and more risque. And it got to the point where Mahogany barely had any clothes on Instagram, and she was doing some very scandalous, thought like things online, like literally shaking her ass. And I remember this one video, she literally was, um, she had her whole entire body outside of the car, she had her behind in the car, and she was shaking her behind, and Justin was slapping her behind. Now, I'm not being judgmental, I'm being realistic. It's hard to bring people to Christ while shaking your ass online and your husband's slapping you on the ass. That's confusing. You're wearing lingerie. We can almost see your nipples. We can see your entire behind out. If you see right there on the top right hand of your screen, if you want to know what I'm talking about, you can go back to that video and it shows all the things. Now, like I said, Mahogany is promoting, her new bae. She wants all of us to know that she has a new boyfriend, right? Which is pretty skeptical because we finally found out that Justin just left the house in October and she found new bae in November, December, and moved him up in there in January, allegedly, according to the neighbors. And also, according to new bae's baby mama. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the baby mama came out and had something to say. And if you want to find out more about that, definitely check out the channel The Cohen Gang, and you can hear the recording from new bae's baby mama explaining how this guy is basically a hobosexual, which means that he is moving from relationship to relationship based on whether or not you can provide a place for him to stay. Anyway, so that came out. Next thing that comes out is not only his picture, which quite frankly looks just not attractive by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know if it's the razor cut eyebrows or if it's the gold teeth that look like they have been used and reused for the past decade, but it's a no-go for me. I have no idea why one would find that to be attractive, but I guess it does something for Mahogany, right? So at this time, like I said, she's now promoting new bae. She wants everybody to know she's in a new relationship, which is like, how do you do that? How do you now move a man in around all these children after only knowing him for weeks? Like, you literally don't know him. You don't know if that man is a whole predator. You don't know what his intentions are. Right now, you're in the love bombing phase. Right now, he's bringing his representative. And when I say he's bringing his representative, it just came out that allegedly he is a felon. So this is the recent development that has come across my desk. New bae is now exposing Mahogany online. And if you want to know what I mean, I will show you in a little bit. But as you guys know, Valentine's Day has just passed, and new bae is so excited to show all of the wonderful things that he bought for Mahogany online in the public for everyone to see, because the internet is definitely a public place. So we get to see all the things that he has purchased for Mahogany, and quite frankly, it looks like it's something very nice and very cute. It looks a little cringy for the majority of us who are like, wow, you're doing a lot online with this woman who is a public figure. Believe it or not, she's a public figure. She has over 1 million followers. If you take a look at all of the pages, I'm not sure you quite understand the arena that you are playing in. If you could take a look here, you see, she has some new Jordans. She has all the balloons, the decorations. You can clearly see that that is her house. Same carpet, same walls. There's nothing in this particular room but gifts and thongs, right? So we now see a variety of different types of thongs that he has scattered across the room as well, which definitely implies that this is about to be an intimate affair that's about to go down tonight. Okay. And then in the very next clip, we get this. Now, if you're wondering what that is Mahogany's behind, apparently, allegedly. It's definitely her skin tone, and it looks like one of the pair of underwear that was just laying on the floor, a thong. So, this is my question to Mahogany. What are we trying to be at this point? Are we trying to be a Christian influencer, a motivational speaker, a content creator, or thought? So, we're starting to see a pattern here with Mahogany Jackson from the Jacksons of Atlanta, now Mahogany's World. She has absolutely no problem with any man that she's with exploiting her online or exposing her body in a way so that it gives off high sexual tease and thoughtness. Okay. And so I don't get it. Are we trying to promote followers to our OnlyFans, or are we trying to promote young women to be inspired by you and to use Christ as a guide to get them through a lot of the most challenging times, as well as your book? Because your book is, I'm not the girl I used to be, but yet you seem like the same girl you used to be. So, when it comes to promoting this book, I came across this promotional video for the book where she's talking about signs and warnings. And it's the complete opposite of what we're hearing out here on the streets. I want you all to listen in on this.
And here's another thing that I share in my book, that's been that God always sends you a warning. Whether he sends someone off the street, or I meet someone here, or I see something on TV that reminds me, sometimes consciously or subconsciously, that what I'm doing, what I'm embarking upon, or the person I'm dealing with isn't for me, or I need to detach. It's always some sort of warning that God sends before we go down that path of destruction, or before we go down that path of bad decision making. Make sure you pay attention, because oftentimes when that warning comes, it comes because we've not paid attention to the red flags, or whatever the case may be. Or sometimes we don't even know that something is even going on. Everyone's situation is different. But when God sends you that warning, take heed before it grows into something that you're not going to want to be a part of, or you're not going to want to deal with, or that only breaks your self-esteem more or hurts you more. Turn around while you have the chance, because God literally always sends a warning.
How can you teach us about signs and warnings when there's a big red flag that is in your home right now? He's allegedly a convict and a felon that you met a month or 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, and he's living in your house, and now your ass is up. And you're going to teach me about how to look for signs and warnings? Girl, practice what you preach. God has sent you a whole burning bush and you're ignoring it. I mean, come on now. Like, are you serious? What can I learn from your book? What can you tell me? And see, and this is the problem that a lot of content creators have with Mahogany. Why are you not practicing what you're preaching? It looks as though you're a fraud and a fake. Just the same as when you were with Justin Jackson and the two of you were never practicing anything you were preaching. Then I come across this next promotional video where she's talking about how her father really wasn't present in her life.
In my book, I talk a lot about, especially in the beginning, how growing up with my father's absence left a void in my heart. It was one of those things where throughout my life, I made decisions that reflected that void, because honestly, I feel like when you have a wound, whether from a father wound, things that happened to you when you were younger or at some part in your life, and you have that wound, you feel empty.
Then it's also talking about desperation. Is this not a glaringly obvious red flag? Is this not what is happening right now? I don't know if it could be any clearer.
And what I share in my book is that when you are in a state of desperation, when you want to feel this wholeness so bad that you start to operate in desperation, what you'll find yourself doing is making decisions that will affect you for a lifetime out of that place of desperation. And it's so important that instead of trying to fill your void with people, things, drugs, and alcohol, which I also mentioned that I did in my book, it's so important that you, one, acknowledge where you are, allow yourself to heal in that area. And the thing about God is whatever it is that you need, He's able to fill those voids because I've been through it, I know it. The fact that no matter what thing you try to use, whether it's drugs, alcohol, relationships, women, men, to fill that void, it's only a temporary fix. Y'all, my book, I'm Not the Girl I Used to Be.
It's funny because I just came across this promotional video after I had already talked about Bay, like maybe, a couple of videos back towards the end, real quick. I just said, you shouldn't be just moving someone in out of desperation because you need to try to fill a void because Justin is no longer there or you no longer have a father figure in place, and then to come across this video and to see that she's fully aware of this, but she's not practicing this. Not only is it disappointing, but it's also frustrating because you come off again as a fraud and a fake. You are exactly the girl you used to be. This is why we're always saying to the audience, you have to be careful about how people portray themselves online, because as soon as the cameras are off, it is a different situation. As soon as the cameras are on, the kids are playing and joking. She's showing full motherhood duties, getting the kids dressed, doing laundry, all the things. And, she's playing with the kids. And then as soon as the cameras are off, the kids go right on upstairs and then she's playing with homosexual friend. Okay? That's the reality, allegedly, based on the rumors down here on the streets and based on baby mama's allegations as well. All right, y'all. So that's the latest. Let me know your thoughts below. And that's just my 2 cents.